Yunakworts, we've been lied to about what it means to win with women. They told us to be softer, to open up more, to be endlessly understanding, to treat her like a queen and wait for her to return the favor. But for many men, that advice led only to silence, to betrayal, to being left behind. Why? Because the world doesn't reward men who wait to be chosen. It rewards men who choose. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming clear. Clear in who you are, what you want, and what you will never tolerate. Enter two ancient frameworks of masculine power: Stoicism and Machiavellianism. Stoicism, the art of inner control, detachment, and strength. Machiavellianism, the strategy of influence, leverage, and results. Together, they're not tools for manipulation, they're tools for mastery. Not a means to react, but a way to rule. This guide is about more than dating. It's about dominance over your own destiny. These 5 rules aren't designed to help you chase affection. They teach you how to command respect. They'll sharpen your mind, tighten your boundaries, and force the world, including women, to respond to your gravity, not the other way around. If you've ever given everything you had and still ended up discarded, disrespected, or dismissed, this is how you flip the game. Welcome to the other side. Rule number 1. Stillness wins. The man who doesn't move rules. In the realm of emotional dynamics, few forces are as powerful as stillness. When a woman pulls away, it's not uncommon for the average man to react with fear. She goes cold, texts become shorter, replies slower, energy distant, and most men panic. They chase, over-communicate, over-analyze. They try to do something to fix the discomfort. This is the reactive man, fueled by insecurity, ruled by emotion. He seeks control through action, but every message he sends, every plea for clarity, screams one truth: I'm not enough unless you validate me. Contrast that with the grounded man. She pulls away and he does not chase. He does not explain, beg, or perform. He breathes. He holds his posture. His stillness isn't apathy, it's depth. It's trust in his own worth. He recognizes that emotions are weather, not climate. They pass. So he pulls within, reconnects to purpose, returns to center. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Epictetus, freedom from emotional reactivity, freedom from needing her to feel whole. That's the essence of masculine stillness. Story vignette. 2 men experience a breakup. One sends paragraphs, voice notes, flowers, anything to get her back. The other vanishes, not out of spite, but from clarity. Days pass. One gets silence. The other gets a message. Hey, can we talk? Guess who she texts first? Stillness creates space. Space becomes a vacuum. And in that vacuum, she feels the absence of grounded presence. And often she returns not to be fixed or rescued, but to reconnect with depth. Stillness equals magnetism. Depth equals attraction. Stillness isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about embodying unshakable presence. The kind that doesn't break when emotions shift. The kind that doesn't rush to repair every crack. It's a different type of power, the kind that whispers rather than yells. It invites rather than insists. And it attracts because it cannot be moved. When she pulls away, I pull within. Not to withdraw, but to root. Not to play games, but to honor your peace. In stillness, you do not chase what runs. You become the man she runs toward. Rule number 2. Emotional control is the ultimate power. In the realm of power and influence, the man who cannot master his emotions is perpetually a servant to those who can provoke them. Emotional control isn't just discipline, it's dominance. A high-value man understands this. He knows that true strength is measured not in how loudly he can roar, but in how calmly he can stand in the midst of chaos. She may cry, lash out, threaten to leave. That's her storm, but he does not step into it. He listens, not to defend himself or escalate the tension, but to assess, to understand the terrain, to observe patterns, to make a strategic choice. This is not coldness, it is clarity. Machiavelli taught that power lies not in changing reality, but in shaping perception. Control how you are seen. While others drown in drama, you remain composed, untouchable. Your calm becomes contagious or intimidating. Either way, you lead. Don't mirror her emotions. Be the mirror. Reflect without absorbing. Show strength, not sympathy, that weakens your stance. In doing so, you give her the chance to re-regulate, to match your frame. Emotional leadership is silent. It doesn't argue. It anchors.
Don't react. Redirect. When someone comes at you emotionally, they're giving you their power. Take it. Guide the conversation away from fire toward resolution, or towards silence, if that's more strategic. Reaction gives control away. Redirection keeps you steering the ship. A man ruled by his emotions is easy to manipulate. He barks, blames, breaks down, and becomes predictable. The calm man, though, he's a mystery. You can't throw him off because he's already decided not to be moved by the trivial. The man who angers you owns you. Unknown. Let that sink in. Anger, jealousy, anxiety. These are chains. Every time you wear them in public, you signal that someone else holds the key. Mantra. I am the calm. I do not enter storms. I watch them pass. This is not passivity. It's power in its purest form. The storm can rage. Let it. You are the stillness at its center. From that stillness, every move you make carries more weight, more precision, and more impact. Control yourself and you control the room. Lose yourself and you lose the game. Rule number 3. Clarity over closeness. Lead or be led. Every relationship has a power dynamic. It's either led or lost. In every interaction, romantic, professional, or social, someone leads and someone follows. This is not about domination. It's about direction. In the absence of clarity, emotion leads. And when emotion leads, confusion follows. The man who values his peace, purpose, and presence must embody leadership, not as control over others, but as mastery over himself. Clarity isn't cruelty. It's control with compassion. High-value men don't need to argue, explain, or prove. Their decisions are quiet, but their boundaries are thunder. When you say, I value peace, I don't argue, you're not being cold, you're being clear. When you say, I'm not distant, I'm deliberate, you're not withdrawing, you're demonstrating sovereignty. Clarity sets the tone. Clarity draws the line. Clarity says, this is who I am, this is where I stand. Frame control is leadership. In any relationship, whoever frames the dynamic owns the direction. If you allow someone else, a partner, a boss, or society, to define your role, your reactions, or your responsibilities, you've surrendered the frame. You've given up the right to lead. If she defines you, she leads you. And if you're not leading, you're losing. Leadership starts with self-clarity. You lead not by convincing, but by embodying, by showing, not saying. The man who is clear in his mission doesn't flinch when tested. He doesn't explain his standards. He lives them. He doesn't beg for respect. He earns it through presence. Presence is power. A grounded man doesn't chase closeness at the cost of clarity. He doesn't abandon himself for connection. He doesn't confuse emotional chaos for love. Instead, He stands as a stoic anchor in the storm, firm, steady, calm. As Marcus Aurelius said, a man's worth is the worth of his ambitions. A man with no ambition to lead his life with clarity is a man adrift. But a man who is clear in his values, deliberate in his movements, and anchored in purpose, he's unshakable. Your mantra is simple. My clarity is my boundary. My presence is my leadership. You lead by showing up fully. You lead by knowing what you will and will not tolerate. You lead by deciding that your inner peace is not up for negotiation. And when you lead yourself with clarity, others either rise to meet you or fall away. And that's the point. You're not here to chase connection. You're here to cultivate alignment. Lead or be led. Rule number 4. Mystery is the new masculinity. Predictability breeds passivity. Mystery activates curiosity. In an age of oversharing, mystery has become magnetic. A man who does not rush to reveal himself, who moves with quiet certainty, draws attention without trying. When a man holds something back, not out of manipulation but from fullness, he creates an irresistible pull. Elusiveness isn't a game. It's not about withholding affection or playing hot and cold. True elusiveness comes from a sense of self so complete that one does not need to be seen to feel real. You are not avoiding her. You're simply not centered in her. Your life does not orbit around her attention. You're grounded elsewhere, in purpose, in solitude, in your own mystery. Allow unanswered questions. Let there be space in the dynamic, gaps she cannot close with assumptions or texts. Where does he go when he's quiet? What's he thinking? Has he moved on? These are not threats. They are invitations for her imagination to dance. Your silence becomes more seductive than 1,000 declarations. Your distance does not diminish your presence. It amplifies it. A man's mystery is not about deception. It's about depth. Like a forest or an ocean, the surface shows little of what lies beneath. When you reveal everything, you lose the tension that creates desire. When you keep parts of yourself sovereign, you become more than a man. You become a world. A secret world is a magnetic world. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming whole, not needy, not fragmented, not defined by others. You are not half of a relationship. You are a complete force. Jung's wisdom reminds us, a man must first unify himself before he can truly meet another. Wholeness over codependence. She pulls away, expecting you to chase. Most men do, but you stay still. You do nothing. You let the silence speak for you. The result? She begins to chase the stillness. She questions her assumptions. She realizes your presence was never guaranteed, and that makes it infinitely more valuable. This is not about control, it's about gravity. Masculine mystery creates a gravitational pull, not through tricks, but through truth, through the quiet power of not needing to explain or defend your soul. She doesn't need to know me fully. She just needs to feel I'm not fully reachable. Let her feel the edges she cannot grasp. Let your depth remain partially hidden. That is not weakness, it is strength. Because mystery, when rooted in self-possession, becomes the most compelling form of masculinity. Rule no 5. Detach from her. Attach to purpose. Most men lose the game not because they aren't enough, but because they forget what is. They forget the mission. They make her the sun, the moon, the axis of their existence. And in doing so, they lose gravity. They lose polarity. They lose themselves. A high-value man doesn't chase. He builds. He becomes. His purpose is his core. and everything else, including love, rotates around it. Women orbit his life not because he pulls them in with neediness, but because his life has mass, meaning, and momentum. The story. He had it all: drive, clarity, direction, a business rising, a body forged, a mind sharp with goals. Then she came along, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, he started to drift. The gym sessions skipped, the meetings rescheduled, the late-night calls, the emotional validation loops, the endless appeasement. He stopped climbing and started coasting. She noticed. First, she softened, then she pulled back. Then one day, she was gone. It shattered him, but it saved him, because that pain became fuel. He remembered who he was before he diluted himself. He detached not from love, but from need. He realigned with purpose. He rose again. And suddenly she noticed again. But this time, he didn't need her notice. He was moving, with or without her. Stoic plus Machiavellian fusion. Love is a choice, not a chain. Connection without dependence. Detachment is not indifference, it's discipline. The Stoic sees love as a garden. He tends it, but does not cry when winter comes. The Machiavellian understands power. He gives affection, but not control. The fusion, a man who can feel deeply without falling foolishly. You must master emotional sovereignty. Feel, but do not fold. Care, but do not cling. Because when you make her your purpose, you hand her the wheel of your life. And no woman wants to drive a man. She wants to join one already going somewhere. If the test will come, she'll pull away, question you, challenge your priorities. Not to destroy you, but to see you. To test if you're truly centered or just performing. A man on a mission remains magnetic. He doesn't chase validation, he radiates it. When she leaves, doubts, or tests, he stays on the path. I don't bend my path for love. I walk it, and she can walk beside me or not at all. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. That's masculine energy rooted in purpose, not possession. So detach, not from her heart, but from the illusion that she is your purpose. Because when you lead with mission, love finds you and follows. Let's recap the 5 rules that define the mindset and behavior of a high-value man in a world addicted to noise, reaction, and validation. 1. Stillness wins. In a chaotic world, composure is your greatest edge. When you remain still, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you become unpredictable, undisturbed, and unshakable. Stillness breeds clarity, confidence, and the kind of calm power that others can't help but notice. 2. Emotional control is power. The man who controls his emotions controls outcomes. Instead of reacting impulsively, he pauses, reflects, and chooses his response. Emotional self-mastery isn't weakness. It's dominance in its purest form.
3. Clarity beats closeness. Being close without purpose breeds confusion. True strength lies in knowing what you want, communicating it clearly, and never compromising clarity for comfort. Men of clarity don't blur lines, they draw them. 4. Mystery is magnetic. Oversharing kills intrigue. In a culture obsessed with transparency, your silence becomes your allure. A man who isn't constantly explaining himself becomes irresistible. He becomes a question that others are desperate to answer. 5. Purpose over passion. Passion is fleeting. Purpose endures. A man rooted in purpose moves with consistency, discipline, and long-term vision. He doesn't burn out. He builds. He doesn't chase feelings. He fulfills missions. Reframe the game. Most men are trying to be loved,
The high-value man becomes the standard for love. He doesn't adapt to the expectations of others. He defines them. He is the gravity others orbit. Final Stoic teaching. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. Modern interpretation. Don't chase her game. Become the game she can't win. In a world full of noise and emotional chaos, your silence, focus, and self-control become your loudest weapons. Don't get dragged into their drama. Rise above it. Be the calm in the storm. Call to action. Comment below. I don't react. I reign. I don't chase. I choose.